I'm having a problem with a particular word I heard used recently. You might have used this word before when describing something like this, or used it to describe people, places, or things you deem inferior or not mainstream. Do you know the history and the transformation of this word into the definition that's used today? What's the word, you ask? Ghetto. The origin of the word isn't truly known, but one of the earliest uses of the word dates back to 1555 when the Pope introduced a papal bull that segregated Roman Jews from Catholics. By the late 19th century, the term had been extended to crowded urban quarters of other minority groups such as Italians, Irish, and Eastern European immigrants. During the Great Migration in the U.S., many African Americans left the South and moved north. White flight ensued and neighborhoods turned into depressed vacuums. Additionally, when industrial jobs moved out of town or died out, African Americans were the most affected. These are a couple of instances that have made ghetto synonymous with underprivileged and black. Over time, ghetto evolved to include people and things, not just a place. Some people use it as a euphemism for substandard or dilapidated. Others use it to call someone uncouth or classless. Earlier this week, I had the unfortunate experience of coming across someone who used this word in a Facebook group I follow. Someone asked for recommendations for Haitian restaurants. One of the admins, let's call him Bob, responded by saying, "Here's where you find all of the little ghetto, broken down Haitian restaurants that remind you of home." Before I had the chance to say anything, someone else asked, "Why does it have to be ghetto?" And Bob had the nerve to say, "I wish standards were better." Elitist much? Well, if anyone knows me, I like to get into what the venerable Congressman John Lewis liked to call good trouble. I politely explained to Bob why the use of this word is problematic, especially when used by a white or white-presenting person, as Bob is. I knew my words weren't going to be popular in general, because my community has issues with colorism and holding on tightly to a caste system established by colonialism, but I spoke up nonetheless. Not surprisingly, my comments were not received well by many people in the group. An aghast Bob said this. I clarified my response, which left him flabbergasted. Thankfully, someone else agreed and added his thoughts, and he was right. Bob just needed to own up to his elitist faux pas, apologize, and move on. However, Bob decided to put his other foot in his mouth and made matters worse by qualifying his ignorance. Look, your words matter. We've all put our foot in our mouths. Just don't be appalled, arrogant, and add a second foot into your mouth when someone politely points out the problematic use of something you've said, because the next time you do this, you might catch hands from someone else who isn't as polite as me.